It started on our wedding night, with something I ignored. At exactly midnight, while we were still talking, my wife quietly removed her wedding ring, so carefully I almost didn't notice. She looked at me, smiled, and said, "It's time to sleep." Excited, I replied, "Good night." I didn't think much of it. Maybe she was just stressed. I lay there smiling to myself. "I'm married now," I whispered. Life felt perfect. I had no idea what was coming. Slowly, I began to notice something strange. Every night, she went to bed wearing her wedding ring. But exactly at midnight, she removed it. By morning, the ring was always back on her finger as if it was never removed. The first night, I ignored it. The second night, I told myself it was a coincidence. But by the third night, I knew it was not. Sometimes at midnight, I heard her whisper my name, as if talking to someone about me. Other times, she would quietly walk to the bathroom. I couldn't explain why, but it bothered me. One morning, I decided to ask. "Darling," I said gently, "you remove your ring every midnight, but by morning it's always back. Why?" She looked surprised. "Me? Remove my ring?" She laughed. "Why should I do that?" Deep inside, I wasn't convinced. I knew she was hiding something. She moved closer, hugged me, and whispered, "I love you." It should have comforted me, but it didn't. That night, I decided to stay awake and find out the truth. Just before midnight, she turned to me. "Why are you still awake?" she asked. "I'm meditating," I said quietly. She smiled and started talking about random things. Before I knew it, I fell asleep. In the morning, she tapped me. "It's 8 a.m. already." I was surprised. I couldn't remember when I slept. The next night, I tried again. But I slept off. Suddenly, I woke up at 2 a.m. The bed beside me was empty. My heart raced. I lifted the pillow. There it was, her wedding ring. I picked it up slowly. As I stood up to look for her, she came out of the bathroom. I froze. Her face didn't look like the woman I married. It was 2 a.m. My wife's ring was still in my hand. I stood frozen. For a moment, I didn't even recognize her anymore. She quickly wiped her face. Before I could blink, she looked normal again. "Why are you standing like that?" she asked softly. "Did something happen?" I opened my mouth. I was. Before I could finish, she smiled. "Oh, you want to ask about the ring?" she said lightly. "Come on, don't give meaning to every little thing." Her expression was calm. Too calm. Like nothing strange had happened. She took the ring from my hand and slipped it back on her finger. "Wait," I said. "We need to talk." "I'm very tired," she replied. "Let's talk tomorrow." Then she went straight to bed. That night, I didn't sleep. My mind was full of questions. Was I imagining things? Was this normal? Was I overthinking? By morning, she was cheerful again. Every time I tried to talk about the night before, she changed the subject. I decided to let it go, but watch closely. At lunch, she smiled. "Honey, my friends want to celebrate me this evening," she said. "They're happy I got married." I smiled. "That's nice." "We'll go together," she added. "By 6 p.m. I nodded. I had no idea it was more than I thought. That evening, we set out. What should have been a 30-minute drive became almost 2 hours, through lonely roads, empty paths. "Are we close?" I asked. "Relax," she said. "We're almost there." Finally, we arrived. The place was quiet. No music, no people, only faint lights. "Is this the place?" I asked. "Why is nobody here?" She smiled. "They're coming. Let's wait inside." A strange unease filled me. We sat alone. After some minutes, a woman walked in. She exchanged a glance with my wife. Without a word, my wife slowly removed her wedding ring. I froze. "Why?" I asked. "I'll explain when we get home," she replied. Just then, a man walked in. My wife stood up, like she had been. My wife removed her wedding ring and stood up immediately when a man I had never seen before walked in. I didn't understand what was happening. The faint lights made it hard for me to see his face clearly. Then he called her softly, "Dura." "Yes," my wife replied softly. I froze. I turned to her. "Is that your name?" I whispered. She didn't answer. Instead, she walked straight to him and hugged him tightly, right in front of me, like I wasn't even there. My heart raced. She leaned close to his ear and whispered something. I wasn't supposed to hear it, but I did. "That's him," she said. "I've brought him, just like you asked." My whole body shivered. Brought me? For what? Nothing made sense anymore. I knew something was not right. I looked around and noticed a door half open. I stood up slowly, pretending to adjust my shoes. Then I turned and ran. I rushed outside, jumped into my car, and drove without stopping, until I got home. I locked the door immediately. Then I peeked through the curtain to make sure no one had followed me. Slowly, I sat on the couch, took a deep breath, and stared at the ceiling. Who did I marry? Who was she really? So my wife's name was Dura and not Angelina. What did she mean by, "I've brought him"? I needed answers but couldn't find any. That night, sleep refused to come. When morning came, I picked up my phone. With shaking hands, I started calling. Her mother. No answer. Her father. No answer. Her sister. No answer. Every number I tried. Nothing. It was like her entire family had gone silent. None of them answered my calls. Was everything she told me a lie? Then, suddenly there was a knock at the door. I froze. Slowly, I walked to the door. I didn't want to open it, but I did, and there she was, my wife, standing outside, tears rolling down her face. Her wedding ring was back on her finger, like nothing had happened. "Please," she whispered, "let me explain." I looked past her. Across the street, a car was parked. Its engine was running, and it felt like someone inside was watching us. My wife stood at my door crying, begging me to listen. I finally agreed, but my eyes kept drifting to a car across the street, parked like it was watching us. I pretended not to notice, but I did. "Go ahead," I said quietly. "I'm listening." She wiped her tears. "In school," she began slowly, "I fell in love with a guy in my class called Manny." She took a deep breath. "We made a blur covenant, thinking it was love." I stared at her. "After some years," she continued, "I realized he wasn't the man for me. I tried to leave, but we couldn't part ways." I looked at her. "Do your parents know about this?" I asked. She nodded slowly. "Yes." "Then why didn't you tell me?" I demanded. "Why marry me without telling me?" She looked down. "After I changed location, I didn't think he would find me," she said. "I thought it was over, but he found me. I couldn't ignore him. I tried to please him." My voice shook. "So, am I the only man you've been with since him?" She shook her head. "No. I was married once before you," she said quietly. "It lasted 3 days. The man woke up one morning and was gone. I never saw him again. Then Manny showed up and said, I was his forever." I sighed. "This is serious," I whispered to myself. Who knew what would have happened last night? Then I looked across the street again. "That car," I said slowly. "It's been there for a while. It feels like someone is watching us." She turned. Her face changed. "Manny is here," she whispered. She turned back to me. "I'm sorry," she cried. "I never knew things would go this way. I don't even know what to do anymore." She removed her wedding ring and placed it in my hand. "Goodbye," she said. Then she walked away. Tears filled my eyes. There was nothing I could do. 4 years later, I was at the airport when I saw her. Angelina, I called. She turned, surprised. Francis? We smiled. How have you been? I asked. She sighed. It hasn't been easy, she said, but I've moved on. Manny and I finally went our separate ways. She looked at me and said quietly, I've learned that every wrong choice comes with a painful price, so always think carefully before making decisions. I nodded. Are you married? I asked. She smiled. Yes. I reunited with my first husband. And you? She asked. I pointed behind me. That's my wife and my son, I said. She smiled. I'm happy for you. So was I. The end. Expect another story soon.